Okay, well, hopefully you're able to see me now. I've been dealing with a lot of technology issues, and I show that there should be audio. I show that there should be video. And if you're here now, you're with Drew, and we're on From Domain to Profit Super Backup Laptop Edition, where for some reason all my laptops, all my technology failed me. But hey, that's what you get for having a show on a Monday. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for bearing with us. Hopefully, you are rewarded for your diligence and willingness to bear with me through all the tech issues. So you are watching From Domain to Profit. I'm going to skip all the graphics, all the cool bells and whistles, because realistically, hopefully they don't matter. So if you would say hi in the chat, let us know who you are, where you're from. And even though there's not many fancy things, please like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So here on From Domain to Profit, what we do, sometimes fancy, sometimes very much not, is we look at domain names that are available this week, and then we try to build domains, build businesses on those domains. And basically what I'm going to be doing is pulling that up, I guess, on a screen share. Like, I'm making this stuff up as I go along. So, when things don't go right, you figure it out as you go along. So, I don't feel like I prep all that heavy for things typically, but okay. So the question that I want to address today is this idea of what do you do when, like, resetting for a moment, and that is to ask this. And actually, let me say hi to everybody. So thank you, Petru. Thank you so much for joining us here. Ian, I appreciate it, all the way from Scotland. You're very much appreciated. Thank you so much for joining us. If this is your first time seeing this, chances are you're seeing something a little bit different from what I like to think we show on a typical Monday afternoon. And there's Lee. I was hoping that you'd be here because I love the fact that I got several from across the pond. I try to keep it international, which actually, let me just say this. I got my Ohio State shirt on. I typically don't wear branded stuff very often. I love t-shirts and things, but I don't, as a marketer, I feel weird about wearing other brands. And so it's one of those things where, but today in the U.S., Ohio State University, my alma mater, my wife and I met at Ohio State. We played trumpet in the athletic band. We met there, we graduated from there, and today in the U.S. they play for a national title in American football. So kind of exciting times, and it's tonight, so for a change. And then there's Petru over there in Seattle. So thank you so much for joining us wherever you're joining us. As I said, comment if you're watching this on Restream. Let us know where you're from. I appreciate it. So what I want to talk about today is going from where you are to where you want to be. Specifically, maybe you're looking to develop a domain name and you've never done development before, you've never ran a business before, whatever it is that you've not done before. How is it that you go about actually doing it? What is it that you need to do? Here in my business, my company, I have a bunch of weird stuff that I do with my company. We're not normal. When you see entrepreneurs out there that are running companies, they're probably not running something like ours. We're very unique in the fact that this is a lifestyle business for me. This is something that I do where anything that we do, any new development we take on, even running this video right now, doing this show every Monday, I always process it first through my life and what I want my life to look like before I ever actually add it to my life. So to come here, I have to make sure that I'm willing to commit an hour every week to be here, and then some time to prep and look to domains and things like that. But the lifestyle that I want is before the actual work. So one of the things that does is I put a limitation on our business. I've said that I don't want to run a big company. I want to run a company where what we do is done with 12 or less people. I want a small company, 12 or less employees. And let me see here. Let me Chase adding that he's terrible. Yeah, I'm guessing you're either Michigan or Alabama, Chase. One of those two. Depends on where you're coming from. But so the question is, okay, how are you going to run a business with 12 or less people? Well, one choice could be that you don't want to grow your business. But I will tell you this, we want to grow our business. We want to create more and more businesses, more and more websites, and we have ambitious goals, but we also have this limitation on people. Currently, we have 10 people. So the question you might be having, or hopefully you're having in your life, is how do I do this big thing that I'm out to do? How do I accomplish this dream that I'm after? And what I ask for my company is, how do we grow our company, do all the things we want to do, but with 12 people? Like with 12 people. And we already have 10 of them. Like we only have room on the bus for 2 more people to keep it under that goal. So let's say, hypothetically, what we're out to do is to add additional websites and just say double or triple our business this year. How can the same people get a different result? How can they do something to double or triple their income? And realistically, what it comes down to is no one here, and including you in whatever goals you have, you can't be the same person and accomplish new big things. Oh, man, there's so many good business coaches out there that can say that so much cleaner than I can. Let me try this again. The person that you need to be to accomplish the big goals you have in your life, you need to grow into that person. You need to grow into that person. Jim Rohn, who is a business coach, I mention him pretty frequently. I'll mention him here in a little bit as well. He says that he thinks that everybody should have a goal to be a millionaire. You should have a goal to make $1 million. And the reason is because of who you have to become to accomplish that goal. If you want to be a millionaire, you have to do a bunch of things, learn a bunch of things, become a different person to be a millionaire. And it's not about the goal, it's about that progress to become a goal. So today, what I will talk about as we talk about the domain names that we're going to look at potentially developing out is we are going to be talking about personal development, personal growth, and helping you become the person that you need to be to accomplish your goals, to build your business, to develop your websites, and to have the life that you want to have. Hopefully that's interesting enough because it's about you. It's about your life and helping you do the things you want. It has to be planned, has to be done. So, but first, let's look at some domains. So I'm going to read over the list, and let me just update us on the football. We have Penn State alums. Okay. Well, there you go. So he's up in Penn State, Pennsylvania. They're a Big Ten, a competitor of ours for those all around the U.S. and world. So we love Penn State. Good competition. They're like a good number 2 in the Big Ten now. So it's kind of trash talk. Okay. Anyhow, so let me share out my screen and we'll go over this week's domains Chrome tab wish list. Okay. And I'm flying by the seat of my pants if you are still with me. Here we go. So here's the domain names that we have available this week that I've went through and checked out. Okay. Well, this is fun. So unfortunately, I lost the chat. So if you're back with me, I lost all your chat. So all the trash talking and so on, and all the people, of course, telling me that I froze. Hopefully, I am back up and running. This has been an interesting day. So, okay, there we go. Well, Jason, nice to see you here. See your comment coming in. So, okay. Well, as you can see, this has got kind of a unique experience. Probably going on the bottom of the or on the top of the worst tech shows that I've put on. Hopefully, what I can do though is realistically, tech doesn't matter if we can get back onto the idea of um, actual getting some content that matters. So, let me see. Did the list of domain names show up? Let me ask that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over these domain names again. Hopefully that's not what caused the issue. But just in case, I want to just make sure that I show you these, because realistically, this is domain to profit, and I want to make sure that we're showing off the domains that are potentially that we're going to talk about and look at. This is it's absurd. Okay, don't touch anything is the name of the game today. Okay. So these are the main names that we have. Embed videos, homeinspectiondrones.com, succulentshop.com, cognitive classroom, findyourhustle.com, certifiedyinstructor.com, miningpack.com, clickless.com, artbrokers.com, and prepschools.com. So I want to get into some of these domains because everything keeps on messing up. Let's get to the content, folks. So let's start with one of these here. Let's go to prepschools.com. I think this is a good example of a domain name that is, let me see. Let me try to pull me up 50/50. Clicking things is safe, I think. So the way that these domains work, okay, that's not going to, okay, there we go. So we're going to talk about prepschools.com, and here's why I want to talk about prepschools.com. I do not think this is a good development opportunity. So as you may be aware, when we talk about domain development, one of the things I often love to do is like directories, this idea of a domain name being used to share out a bunch of information on the individual companies in that area. So we've talked about until then, I don't know. It keeps flashing for me. Okay. So prepschools.com, the reason why I don't like this one is realistically, I don't believe people look on the internet for prep schools very often. Just a hunch. But I don't know. Prep schools, here's me trying to, I'm trying to, I don't know much about prep schools, but what I do know is anybody that calls it prep school likely already knows the prep school that they would send their kids to. But there are, I'm just looking over on SEMrush on my other laptop, daring to press the keys. There are 6.6 thousand exact match searches for prep school. So there are people looking for it. The only thing is who are those people that are going to be looking for that? I have a sneaking suspicion that they're, I don't know, cost per click. I wish I could share the screen over here. Cost per click, over $3 per click for the 6,000 some people that search for it. So I'm changing my mind a little bit here. I was bringing up prepschools.com to almost say it's not a good domain for development, but evidently that may be a little bit of a mistake. So prepschools.com is actually, it has some good search engine traffic, $3 cost per click. So let's go with this. prepschools.com, I would like to build that out as a place where people can, let's go with ratings and reviews. Like my only experience with prep schools, maybe you've had experience with prep schools. I'm just a product of Cincinnati, Ohio's public school system. So I have no clue about any of the private school type stuff. But prep schools, for example, I think of as, I assume that's like pre-college. Is that what prep school is? Well, the people that are going to really, that I'd love to hear from in that whole thing is the kids, like anonymous ratings and reviews of the different prep schools that are out there. You'd have parent reviews, kid reviews, lots of drama, lots of fun content. And then you can have official prep school content. I love user-generated content. So the question becomes, can you get enough content from the visitors to the site? And if you can get the actual prep schools to submit content, that would be ideal. How you make money off this, though, I have no idea. And realistically, it's thought to profit or domain to profit, not domain to website with a bunch of visitors on it. Realistically, we want to make money. We want to provide some revenue for our lives, for our livelihoods. So prep schools, in general, I'm going to give it a low rating. If you can get it for, $800, there's something to be done there. Ultimately, you're going to have to know something about prep schools in a way that I don't. But the fact there's good cost per click, some good search engine volume, there's something there. It's just, I'm just failing to communicate it. So there we go. Obviously, I'm just all over the place when it comes to things today because of all the tech flashing stuff that's driving me insane. Let's go to a home run domain name, and that is artbrokers.com. Artbrokers.com, you'll see it here. Let me go over to the list. I'm going to pull up that screen, hopefully, without causing chaos. Okay, here's artbrokers.com. All the way up to $840 currently. There's 6 days left in that auction, and there's a good reason for that, because artbrokers.com is nearly an exact match domain name. I am just all over the place on my clicking and not catch. There we go. So artbrokers.com, realistically, I love art domains. I love this idea of being able to sell, whether it's individual artists or even taking paintings that are by known artists and creating more of a market for it. Currently, the art market is something that I view as kind of something for the wealthy. It's not accessible to normal people. Yet you go on a cruise ship and they have these art auctions. You ever been on a cruise and you go and they have these art auctions and they bribe you with champagne to come in and buy art? Well, that's about the Okay, back again. When it comes down to the art market, artbrokers.com could be a way for just Joe Schmo cruiser that bought art to sell it off to other people that maybe want to buy it. So, for example, on these cruises, they sell artwork to just people that are on the cruise, booze them up, get them on to buy this artwork. They promise that it's worth thousands of dollars, but then there's no secondary market. There's no way for you to take that artwork and get your money back, or turn it back into cash, or to trade it up for other market or for more artwork. Well, I think artbrokers.com could be that market, could be that opportunity where basically people could post the artwork that they're looking to sell, post the documentation for it, and then individual artists could as well post the artwork that they're looking to sell. And hopefully those who appreciate art can support the artist directly and or create a secondary art market. If you know of anything like that right now, I'd love to know it. I've not heard of anything like that. I've also not really searched for it. So let me just search real quick for art brokers. And that keyword, artbrokers.com, has an exact match of over 2,000 people search for that in the US. And the keyword cost is just under $2. So there's some search engine volume. There's some cost per click. So people are looking for art brokers. Whether or not they're looking for the model that I'm describing, I don't necessarily know. But I would put this domain name, if you're into art, you could probably push it towards $2,000. If you're just looking for a domain to develop, you wouldn't want to get this domain. I mean, it's already at $840. Realistically, it's going to probably go outside of a casual development project, which I would say is right around where it is now, around $1,000, $1,200. So probably if you're not a passionate art person, you'll want to leave this one up to the passionate art dealer that's out there. So, but there you go. Hopefully that's an interesting. So the problem is people need to sell their art. Solution is artbrokers.com. So at some point we'll get back to the 3-minute business plan format. I've been getting away from it, but maybe I'll start to do it again. So that was artbrokers.com. So let's say that you want to launch a business on artbrokers.com. And realistically, maybe you're like me, son of a truck driver, going to a small public school in Cincinnati, and you really don't know anything about art, don't even know much about internet business and things, because that's me when I was growing up. Was interested in this stuff, but didn't have a clue. So what do you do? Where do you start? Well, you obviously don't know what you need to do as of that point, so you need to change. You need to develop new skills and abilities. So, trying to get back to our normal topic, or what I'm wanting to talk about today, well, you need to become a different person from who you are. And that's not true. You need to learn new skills to become capable of this. So, one thing that you may or may not know about me is I am huge into personal development. Not necessarily personal. It used to be called self-help. And this was, I don't even know. Self-help is such a, kind of has a negative connotation. Personal development is basically turning you into the person you need to be to accomplish your goals. Hopefully that's part of why you watch this show, and, you're interested in domain development. You're looking for tricks of the trade, information that maybe I, as somebody who has developed a bunch of domain names, can help get you further along your path than what you are. Well, personal development is exactly that for all aspects of your life. So I want to introduce you to a few of the books, a few of the people, and a few of the ideas that I've gotten from personal development, and kind of give you a direction. So here's the main one. Okay. So I'm just kind of curious, in the chat, in the comments, who out there, is into personal development, as far as they have a mentor, they have a coach or somebody that they follow, they have somebody that speaks into their life to help you grow. I'm just kind of curious about that. For me, I, came out of college, was trying to run a company, and because I was isolated in general. I still am. I still run a company and see a dozen people at any given week. I don't see that many people. I was trying to figure out how I could become more like those out there that I looked up to. How could I run the companies? And like Bill Gates was somebody that I grew up kind of idolizing. He's some nerd, and he coded and figured things out. Next thing you know, he's running Microsoft and created this giant company. Even Mark Zuckerberg, and with Facebook, the guy's wicked smart, creating cool stuff. But do you have any idea all the things that you have to learn to go from a idea? Again? Okay. I think I lost everybody again for a moment. So all of these guys, everyone that you've ever looked up to, none of them started off having it all figured out. They all get the best coaches, the best trainers, the best mentors, the best people that can speak into their life to help them become the person they need to accomplish whatever goal they're out to accomplish. So for me, I've been lucky enough to find a coach, which I've mentioned on several occasions in Twitter, especially a guy named Darren Hardy. And this is the first book. I recommend that if you're not really sure where to start any kind of personal development, you have a small goal, you have goals, you want to change your life in some way. This is a great book. This is kind of the foundational book. I have a dozen copies on my shelf back here that I give out to anyone that I meet that's kind of like, interested in growth in some way. And it's a very basic book that just talks about changing your habits in a day-to-day basis. So let me give you a free tidbit, and that is Darren does this really cool thing where 5 days a week he does free videos. It's 3 to 5 minute videos typically, and he talks you through something that can be actionable that day and change your life. And the idea is it's a habit that you can do daily that can improve your life over the course of any given year. And that's darrendaily.com, darrendaily.com. And I'm going to type that in the chat, hopefully as carefully as possible, so that way it doesn't cause my laptop to wig out. So that's the website. It's darrendaily.com. And what you'll find there is basically just talks about it's both motivational, there's some action to it, and but it's also free. And you'll get an email or text every morning with his information, people from all around the world. He's somewhat of a big coach anyhow. But he's also a personal mentor of mine. I do video calls and things with him, monthly or so. And he helps me become the person that I am. So, because realistically, like I said, I'm just some, trucker's son, and I've just been trying to figure this stuff as I go along, challenging myself to be a better version of myself, and of course, helping as many people as possible along the way. Another one by Darren. So I see a lot of friends ask me, "Hey, Drew, I've always wanted to run a company, always kind of, how do you get started in that? How do you run a company? How do you create a company? I've always had this idea, I've wanted to do it." So chances are you right now with that domain name, an idea, you're kind of like, you're just in a place where you want to do it, but you're worried about any number of different things. Well, where do you start from there? I recommend this book here, The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, also by Darren Hardy. And this is not like, you're not going to find this probably in a bookstore. You're probably going to have to, you'll find it on Amazon. I guess that is a bookstore nowadays. I forget that there's not a bunch of bookstores around anymore, but Amazon, this one, Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. So this one is, while Compound Effect is for just setting the habits, you can have better relationships with your kids, your wife, your employees, or your boss, your work, just improving your life in general. That's the Compound Effect. The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster is very much about helping you pursue your dream of entrepreneurship. So you deciding to do that business, what are the hurdles that you're going to have? What are the ups and downs that are going to be part of that roller coaster? And so you can be prepared for them and pursue them. So I highly recommend that book as well if you are at the beginning of that journey. And then just real quick, the other book would be The One Thing. You may have seen this one. This one is a popular book, so you'll find it in bookstores and things. And here's the gist of it. Choose one thing and do that one thing. And so like today, I have several one things, but this is my one thing on Monday afternoons. Everything is focused towards this. It may not appear like it today because the tech and everything has been such a nightmare, but from the moment I wake up and I sit and journal and start thinking, everything is focused on trying to have good thoughts that I can bring to you to hopefully encourage you along your journey and turn some domain names into businesses. So, but then days like today, there's also tech issues and things like that. So I just realized I do not have something. I'm going to step off camera. I'll be right back. This is by far the worst show ever. Oh, this has been so much fun. I have just, I've actually been on Zoom calls all day, starting right off the bat with one of my performance coaches. So, I guess I should have focused on this being my one thing for the day a little more. So, what I wanted to talk about though is, or what I mentioned a little bit was my mornings start with reflection and journaling. Okay, I get it. If you hear the idea of journaling or reflection time type of thing, a lot of people want to run from it. But let me say this. Yes, my businesses have grown. Yes, I've built a lot of things in my life. But realistically, the one thing that brings me the most joy, all the things that bring me the most happiness in my entire life, has nothing to do with the money and everything to do with what I have figured out about myself through time spent thinking and journaling. And that sounds like a bunch of hippie hogwash, except for the fact of the matter is I know who I am and what I want to do. And because of that, I can do more of it. It seems really simple, and it is that simple. I know I want freedom, flexibility in my life. I want to contribute to others. I want to support them in their endeavors. I want to experiment and do new things. Like all of those things are, well, I can rattle them off really quickly now. It's taken many years of journaling and figuring myself out to be able to do that. And now I can do it. As long as I'm doing that stuff, I'm able to to live a happy life regardless of the income that I make. So realistically, my goal this year is to help my people in my company make a bunch of money. Like I want to support them in growing their personal finances and support you in growing your business and impacting your life and all of. Okay, and you're back. I don't know what happens there, if it shows up that you're disappearing or if I go black or what, but it just said lost connection again. So, okay. So journaling is definitely the piece of the pie that allows me to know myself better, live a happier life, regardless of the income that I am able to generate. A lot of people think that they're only going to be happy if they have a bunch of money, and it's simply not true. You're going to be happy if you make yourself happy. And there's a lot of great coaches and people out there that can tell you that, explain that to you, and a lot better than I am. But realistically, it's true. And compound effect is a great start. The entrepreneur roller coaster is another great start as well. And I can book after book after book. So that I can recommend. Let me go back to what it is that I can do, which is talk about domains that we can develop. So let me share this back out. Let's do something unique. Let's go with miningpack.com. Miningpack.com. And so miningpack.com is here you can see it. It's $12 over on GoDaddy, ending in about 3 days. So here's what I'm thinking with this. I'm not a crypto guy necessarily. I mess with it a little bit just because I do believe that things like Bitcoin have a little bit of value for people that are holding on to like cash and things. I believe that it is not an investment. It is not something you should be buying in hopes of growth. I think it's just something where you can hold cash instead of being cash. You can hold it in Bitcoin. Just my opinion. But miningpack.com, here's what I'm thinking with this. Some of the top products that you're going to find on like Amazon are they'll take a camera, a normal camera that you can buy for like say $300, and then what they do is they add a lens and they add some power adapters and they add a couple different things and they pull it together as a package deal and they sell it for $600 or something. Well, I'm thinking miningpack.com is essentially, there's lots of people out there, maybe you, heck, I've even looked into it at one point because I thought it was kind of interesting. The idea that you want to mine some kind of cryptocurrency. I don't know much about this stuff, but what I do know is it's going to require some specific tech and it's going to require you to do some research. Well, what happens if miningpack.com, you pull together several different packages of tech that you can ship out to somebody, they plug into their house, and they could be mining at some level, even if it's very basic. And miningpack.com is that pack for $200 or something. You could be mining Bitcoin by this weekend. You have some educational video or something that can go with it. I mean, the domain name's $12 for now. You don't have to create this stuff. You could probably find it and buy it from someone else or become a reseller and just create miningpack.com as your brand. But a pretty fun option. So that's why I was including this one, was just that idea of, do I think you should mine Bitcoin? Absolutely not. But might you sell if you want to? Okay. If you want to make money in any given thing, so whether it's Bitcoin, whether it's, even domain names, for example, you can learn how to buy and sell domain names, and it's going to require so many different skills and abilities and luck and timing. Or you can learn a lot about it, teach others what you've learned, and then charge some kind of membership fee or package something together to put together. So an example of this might be like DNA Academy, where essentially what DNA Academy does is they teach people how to buy the right domains and invest in domain names. And basically Michael Seeger, he put together this class, and you pay him a one-time fee to go and learn about this stuff. Like, you can do that kind of thing and teach others, and you just do like a little bit. So I guarantee, Michael, apologize if I'm wrong, but I know I'm right. Realistically, he makes a lot more off DNA Academy than he does off of his domain buying and selling. It's more consistent, it's more predictable. So miningpack.com, for example, could be that for you. If you're interested in Bitcoin or something, basically you create a miningpack.com, you sell the product to allow other people to mine and stuff. So no matter what happens to your mining portfolio, realistically, you're going to be able to make money helping other people do what it is that they're trying to do. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. There's a quote that I love, which is, you can have anything you want in life, absolutely anything, as long as you help enough people get what they're looking to get. Like, you help them get what they want, and you can have anything you want, which is true. If you can help people and teach them or sell them, a pack of equipment to mine Bitcoin, you sell enough of them, you're going to have enough money to do anything else that you're looking to do. So just help others, basically the moral of the story. I love that one. So let me check in on the chat. Can you be sad buying a Lambo? I know. So let me just go back to this one. John Smith, not sure who that is. Very unique name. Can you be sad buying a Lambo? I'm guessing you can absolutely be sad buying a Lambo. You can be sad buying a Lambo and things like that. Let me see. Okay. So, and sorry about some of the tech issues today. There's been quite a few of them. Let me go back to the domain names and try to pull up one of these other domains that we have here. So of the domain names that we have, let me pull these up. We have embedvideos.com, homeinspectiondrones.com, which I think I'll talk about next, succulentshop.com, cognitiveclassroom.com, findyourhustle.com. I love that one. That one's kind of fun. I think a lot of people call, it's your hustle, find your hustle. Different, you can help people find scrappy ways to make money on the internet, findyourhustle.com. Certifiedinstructor.com. I put that one up there. It goes right along the idea of what it is I talk about a lot of times, which is, directories and creating ways to share a domain name with a lot of people. So there's a lot of certified instructors out there, right? There's certified scuba instructors, certified personal trainer instructors, or class instructor. Anyhow, there's all kinds of certified blank instructors. So certifiedinstructor.com can be a site that puts together profiles, and they can have like their own personal website on certifiedinstructor.com, to where it's kind of like you come in, you select the category of instructor that you're looking for, and then it lists out the registered certified instructors. They can pay to be featured or to have more features on your website. Now, as far as certifiedinstructor.com, let me pull this up and see. I guess that's currently $27. 2 days left is what that one is. That one's pretty fun, right? Certifiedinstructor.com. I mean, it gives you some opportunities to help other people promote themselves and their business. They provide that content. So the certified instructors, those people who are registering and want to be known and have the authority of being a certified instructor on certifiedinstructor.com, they provide information about that. They post their resume. They post products of them and their service. Or, if you're a certified scuba instructor, you and your people that are, doing scuba stuff. So things like that. So certifiedinstructor.com could be a good opportunity. User-generated content, which is what we talked about last week when we talked about creating passive income. You get your certified instructors, those users, to submit the content. You get that into Google in a formatted way that Google likes. They send traffic over to you, which creates more user-generated content. You can check out last week and see the passive income video, which we talk about that business model of user-generated content, SEO, traffic, and you just keep running that cycle, and you just pull some money off as part of your revenue. So certified instructor is really good for that. And if you're like me, I think I've actually talked myself into possibly placing a bid or two on that domain name just based off of this here. So there you go. So anytime I talk myself into it, I must have said something that's pretty tolerable. So let's go over to the next one, which I kind of find is a fun domain name, and that's going to be this one here, homeinspectiondrones.com. This will be the last one we do today, which is homeinspectiondrones.com. Back when drones were coming, not even so much drones. They are called drones. Anyhow, so back when drones and they were just getting good enough with their cameras to potentially, have quality videos, I was thinking, well, why don't I get these and fly them around houses and sell the videos to real estate agents? Because I'm always just coming up with crazy business ideas. And there are definitely companies that do that now. Homeinspectiondrones.com. This could go along with, real estate, something like that. Basically, there's services out there currently that will take a drone and fly it around a house so you can inspect the roof from the drone, or you can inspect the chimneys, inspect the outer surfaces of the building, whatever else. Stuff that you can't get to in a normal home or building inspection, you can get to with a drone, and you can list those services or provide those services directly through homeinspectiondrones.com. So this would be an opportunity for somebody interested in drones to probably run it themselves, or to you could try to create as a directory and show services nationwide or worldwide that do this kind of thing. But look at that domain; it's super long, right? That's if you can get that for $50 or so, then sure, go for it. But anything more than that, it's going to probably be priced outside. Wouldn't you much rather have drone inspections or something like that? I can think of a bunch of other domains I'd prefer to have, which is what kind of tanks that domain name down as far as the development value. So with that said, I think that I'm going to start wrapping this up. sorry for all the tech issues. I love all my bells and whistles and music and different screens and things, but it wasn't in the stars today. And I know that I need to make some tech changes, but it's just not happening. So it's actually funny. I want to start shortening this show to where it's it's not a full hour. It's actually shorter than an hour. But I prefer to shorten it by ending sooner, not by starting later and having a bunch of issues in the middle. But, maybe it's a way of forcing it. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. And if you're watching this on Restream, leave a comment in the chat. Of course, like, share, subscribe. If you've not been to FromDomainToProfit.com, you can go there, register. We alert you each week as we start to go live. And you'll also receive, you're on our waiting list that way. So as we, innovate and create new product lines and things, we're going to announce it out to that list. That's kind of our official list. So if you haven't went to FromDomainToProfit.com, you can do that. And I very much appreciate all of you sticking with me through all these tech issues and stuff. It's fun stuff. So hope you have a great week. Go Bucks. And I'll see you next Monday.